Hi, Smiles Red Songbird, the Michelle Bird song. Will Smith for president. Will Smith was Seth, Adam and Eve's third and perfect son. And here is Azura, Will Smith's sister and wife. This is her reborn as Robin Bird song. Okay? So let's begin the this is Ben Shapiro's Take Part 2. Ben Shapiro's take on Dave Chappelle's Netflix movie. Okay, because critics are no longer reviewing the quality of an act. Instead, they're reviewing the wokeness of an act, which is how Hannah Gadsby was the least funny person who has ever lived. I mean, I'm talking about the least funny human being who has ever lived. There are human beings who live in caves in isolation, who have never heard a joke and are not properly socialized. They're more funny than Hannah Gadsby. She has 100% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Dave Chappelle was at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why? Because he violated the rules. Ink-Oo Kang of Slate wrote, these are reviews of Dave Chappelle's movie by the leftist, globalist Satanists. Watching Dave Chappelle's latter-day comedy specials, the most recent of which was released on Monday, is like dropping on a rascally uncle who doesn't know or doesn't care how much he's disappointing you. Note from Eve. He's not disappointing me. He's delighting me to know some public person can still think for himself and isn't being blackmailed into speaking group think, political, correct, truly boring bullshit to flatter the way out fringes. Allison Herman of The Ringer. I never heard of these critics, says Eve. Like most of Chappelle's recent output, this is what Allison Herman's saying. Sticks and Stones is designed to generate inflammatory coverage, which will in turn generate a chance for Chappelle to dismiss said coverage as reductive, opportunistic, and generally out to get him. It's a symbiotic cycle with no end in sight, and it's become the last thing a beloved provocateur should ever want to be. Predictable. No, said Eve, you critics of Sticks and Stones are predictable. You're playing God, punishing his truthful work by defaming it, and him because he called you what you are. God is the punisher. He said, vengeance is mine. Okay, and you're playing God. And you don't like what you are. And who would? You're the left behind, the dust. Dust decoded. D for daughter of the sun, God. U for you. S for seed, truth. Daughter of the sun, God. You see truth. That's Stephen Michelle Bertong. Eve is the daughter of the sun, God. Said Shapiro, okay, they're reviewing him for his proper acquiescence to the struggle session. Mouse, left views of comedy. He must be destroyed. Note, like God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It's really quite pathetic, said Shapiro. I agree with them, said Eve, to have the arrogance to think they can compete with, beat God, the Son of the Sun, is indeed pathetic. I hope they soon find out their evil deeds are no match for our good God. And now the audience reviews of the special are very high. People, says Dave Shapiro, or Ben Shapiro, about Dave Chappelle. People who like Chappelle, and people who don't even watch Chappelle all that often are looking at this thing going, I can't believe that dude said that out loud. But the fact is that Hollywood will not allow this sort of thing to go forward, and so Chapelle must be destroyed. Note, is a satanic decision. So Chapelle, says Shapiro, is now on the target list, the same way that Kevin Hart, note, and Owen Benjamin was on the target list. It's the same reason why you saw in the last 48 hours attempts by folks in Hollywood to try and out everybody in Beverly Hills who is going to a Trump fundraiser, because everyone must think alike according to those interested in destroying your humanity. This is Eve talking, and making this a robot world, a world of robots, truth tellers, independent thinkers still alive, folks, must be excised in Satan worshippers' eyes. This is Shapiro, heights of the culture, the commanding heights of corporate America. This is Eve. Hey, America is a corporation, and has been since President Ulysses S. Grant signed a law making the United States for America into the capitalized corporation, the United States of America. If the USA defaults on the loan to the Jewish loan sharks, the Rothschilds, the usury charging Rothschilds, the citizens of the corporation will have to work off the loan, slave labor. Shapiro said, the commanding heights of corporate America and the commanding heights of politics must all be occupied by folks who agree with the left behind the dust, says Eve. From ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Jesse Lee, okay, we're done with the article. Now we're on to something else. Jesse Lee Peterson on Twitter. That's why females shouldn't be cops or deputies. Dangerous to society. Note, obviously. Thread, Twitter, Brian Suits. California man grapples with female deputy, disarms her and shoots at her. Backup rolls in and ends him. No word on condition of deputy. Tweet. This is another tweet. Candace Owens, at real Candace Owens, who was Harriet Beecher Stowe. So glad Dave Shapiro is bringing back humor again, from mocking the absurdity of the hashtag #MeToo movement and the lunacy of the trans movement. Eve says, no God, no logos, no objective logic, biology rules, no reasonableness, lunacy. He is fearless, says Candace Owen of Chapelle. Hilarious and just on time. America is bored of washed-up comedians trying on political activism, at Chelsea Handler, at Kathy Griffin. And then Eve says, I hope Dave Chappelle's movie on Netflix, Sticks and Stones, continues to find a delighted audience for months to come. And I hope he gains millions of new fans that support him more than Hollywood left ever did. Okay, there you go. It's Will Smith for president. And check out the Dave Chappelle movie. It sounds hilarious. I might join Netflix just so I can see it. Okay, so long.